Okay, now after skipping the first question, the second question has a line reference, so we can do this one very easily. It tells us to go to lines 1 through 10. It's just asking for the main purpose. So we should go back, read a sentence before, or in this case after, because there's no sentence before, but get the context and then just try to get a dumb summary of what's going on. We don't need to think very deeply about these lines. We'll let the choices summarize what's going on for us and then just see which summary sounds best, right? We don't need to write our own complicated summary on a multiple choice test because the choices are the summaries. So let's go back to those lines, see what we can figure out. It says, even then my only friends were made of paper and ink. At school I had learned to read and write long before the other children. Where my school friends saw notches of ink on incomprehensible pages, I saw light streets and people. Words and the mystery of their hidden science fascinated me. And I saw in them a key with which I could unlock a boundless world. A safe haven from that home, those streets, and those troubled days in which even I could sense that only a limited fortune awaited me. My father didn't like to see books in the house. Okay, so right there I'm going to cut it off because that's one extra sentence beyond what I read. So I should follow my own +1 sentence rule and just read that extra sentence. If I need to read more, I always can, but let's see if that was enough. My dumb summary of what's going on here is very simple. Books are good, right? Books, positive. That's all I need. Let's see if that helps me go through the choices. And if not, again, I can always read more. I can always read again. But let's dumb it down first and see how that helps. So using process of elimination here, the main purpose is to introduce the characters who play a part in the narrator's story. Well, it certainly is introducing us to the narrator, but I have a problem with that word characters, right? Other people are briefly mentioned, maybe the father a little bit, maybe their other friends, but no names are given, no one is really given any sort of detail here, so this doesn't really seem like an introduction to multiple characters, maybe just the main character, but that's not what the choice says. We gotta stick to what the choice says. B, list the difficult conditions the narrator endured in childhood. Well, the difficult conditions are definitely mentioned as that this person did have a difficult childhood, but it's a different thing entirely to say that they were then listed out, right? Maybe they talk about the streets being bad. Yeah, but like a list of the difficult conditions, we would expect to really get a sense of why this place was either dangerous or bad for the narrator. We're not really getting that. We're not getting an explanation or a really long description of the problem. So list, too strong in this case, strong word. C, describe the passion that drives the actions the narrator recounts. Well, I guess maybe the action is reading and the passion is, yeah, it's a positive experience. So, I don't know, that maybe matches. It's a bit of a stretch, but it certainly doesn't not match, right? I'm looking for something that would contradict my dumb summary and nothing in that choice contradicts it. So for now, I would just say, okay, it's not terrible. Let's look at D and see if there's any problems there. D, depict the narrator's aspirations before he met Sempere. Well, that might be true. An aspiration is also kind of a positive word, but what are the aspirations? Again, the person is talking about why books are good, and then near the end, it says that the narrator could sense that only a limited fortune awaited him, or her, and I just don't know what that means in terms of what those aspirations were, right? So there's limited aspirations. Maybe that the books are helping unlock some bigger aspirations. But again, kind of like with choice B, I'm not getting a list, I'm not getting a depiction, I'm not getting an explanation of what the specific aspirations are. So that's a problem. Whereas C is so general, and that's what makes it right. Describe the passion that drives the actions the narrator recounts. Well, the passion is for books. We clearly get that from those lines. That's a description, right? It's repeated that the books are good, that the books are unlocking a key or whatever the phrase was. So this is weak enough that I can justify it with the lines, with the repeated ideas. That's going to be good enough. And so sometimes this is going to happen on the SAT reading, is we're not going to love our answer. It's going to be just fine. It's going to get the job done in the most basic way possible. And the bigger thing will be that the wrong answers we hate. They're just too wrong. They're too strong. There's something wrong with them that makes them just not as good as the right answer. So this is why process of elimination is really about finding the little 10% of a choice that's wrong, because that's what we are trying to do, and it usually means we're avoiding a trap when we do it. There is no 10% in C. It's perfectly bland and inoffensive, and it matches our dumb summary, which is that books are good. She's passionate about books. That's good enough for us.